Final boarding call here. 15 minutes remain on this club day event to start. The 5-day event, that is, to win this new Bugatti Divo. Now, on this account, I'm not planning on spending some 550 gold to win this car. However, I will be putting on the Tier 1 racing dollar upgrades to pick up some 15 gold. So basically going through stage 1 and 2, right? Which are pretty easy challenges. So first thing to do, you get 3 hours of instant R&D. Now most likely by the time this video gets uploaded, the entry point of this event would have long expired. So the chances are, if you're watching this in the future, you might be seeing it in a rerun format, sort of like the flashback. They're taking away events archives, so probably not in that format, but I have a feeling they'll probably bring this event back at some point in the future. At which point, generally, they don't offer us this instant R&D on upgrades or service. So if they do, great. If not, well, what can you do, right? Anyway, my feeling is these instant or these Tier 1 racing dollar upgrades on this car most likely will be like 12-hour R&D time. So, if you're not in a rush, you're given 5 days to complete it, so that is plenty of time to get all the necessary upgrades done. But before the end of the Tier 1 or Stage 1 in this event, you will need at least, I think you need all the Tier 1 racing dollar upgrades to get past the first stage. And as I kind of covered in the preview of this event, the overview, right? Tier 2 has higher PR requirement to get through that final goal, but because they have made it free to skip, you don't need to meet that PR requirement, basically, which means the first 2 stages essentially you can complete with only racing dollars alone, which is always a good deal. Don't shy away from those offers, and you get an opportunity to race this car, which is always nice. And the part that I really like about, more so than any other aspect of this event, is the fact that you get to race against some other variety of cars. So far we've seen, I think, the Brabham. We saw Vulcan just now, P1, McLaren, Veneno, is that the Agera RS, possibly? Pagani, Zonda R, I think. And we saw also 918 Vicec package, never missed that on the circuit. And Aston Martin, I think that's a GTE. And who else is here? Couldn't quite catch what Sato is in, so let's catch up and ask him. Oh, a little too early braking. This car does need some earlier braking, but maybe not that early. Oh, is that Senna? I think that is a Senna, isn't it? And who's currently leading the charge? Riera, Koenigsegg. So yeah, anytime you get this kind of variety in the grid is always a welcome change. I do wish we could have more races in the game where you get to race against a whole slew of different cars. I mean, these are all legend class cars. I know they come in various shapes and sizes. The bonus series this car is featured in, at least you do get to race against a couple of other cars. Can I remember what this car is pitted up against off the top of my head? But I have posted the overview video of that series. Supercar Renaissance, I believe, is the bonus series this car's featured in, if I remember correctly. So anyway, yeah, you can check that out. But for now, let's see if we can run through the first two stages of this event real quick to pick up those 15 gold, right, for some racing dollars, right? So here we go. Maintain average speed. 165 kph is the target. They don't care whether you go off track or hit other cars. Later stages, later goals, we'll start putting on some extra conditions, so that's where you have to be careful, but you cannot do what I'm doing there, which is swinging far into the outer regions of the track that is considered off track, right? All right. Some Lambos. Koenigsegg. I think that's Agera RS. I know. They do look very similar. Royera does look very different, and yeah. All the Ageras, yeah, you ask me to distinguish one from the another especially while you're racing, yeah. Or CCXR or CCRX, one of those, they kind of fall in, I feel like, same line with the Ageras. So I'm sure it's one of those. Anywho, that's a non-GTR Senna. The slower one of the two. And then there's the reigning king, Riera, or at least that's what it likes to be known as, which is a car that currently in Events Archive you can win that car for free if you already have it in your garage. Rain Supreme, I believe, is the special event that featured Riera. And it's an old event where you can bot train, which means basically as long as you don't go through each goal in that event by winning by huge margins, all the goals are quite manageable without putting on any gold upgrades. So that's what I mean by you can win that car for free, or maybe some racing dollar upgrades, or basically minimal investment is what I'm trying to say. Where you, I guess Events Archives don't pay out gold rewards for completing stages, right? So you won't be netting any gold, but at least you'll be netting a pretty expensive car. Anyway, speaking of gold cost, of course, to complete this event and meet the PR requirement, you would have to invest some 550 gold, which I am not gonna be doing, at least not on this account. I have completed this on one of my other playing accounts, so I'm just making this video kind of as a future reference, maybe for posterity's sake, if you will. Anywho, let's press on forward. Goal 3, we have to reach a 310.62 times and complete this event. So we got an out lap, and then we got an actual lap where we can go down the fastest section, which is not yet. It's coming up soon. You guys all know where the fastest section is at the Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix. It's coming up right here. as we turn from, what corner is this? They tell you at that pole. It's a little small for me to read, but I think it's like, this is like halfway in, so it's probably like turn 10 or 11 or something like that. And there we go. So I could slow down and hit the top speed one more time if I wanted to, but we do have another whole lap, right? The actual full lap. This is all part of the out lap, so we got enough left in this challenge to hit that top speed one more time. So no reason to, you know, push harder than necessary. Let's put it that way. Alright. And oh, you know what? While we're at it, let's check out some different racing views. So here's the chin to the ground, chin to the tarmac view. Not exactly a very easy view to race in, at least in my opinion. A little too close to the action, you know what I mean? So let's hop out into the hood view, which is a lot more manageable. And yes, we do get drafting active during the special event, but once you're in the bonus series the car's featured in, it's gone. So don't get too excited about it. It's only available during the club day event here. And here we go. Let's set that top speed record, the second instance. And there we go. Plenty of track still left to slow down. And let's check out the interior view and this cockpit view. It's very blue, isn't it? And I am okay. If I tried harder, I probably could have climbed up a few more ranks, but that's not part of the goal. They just wanted you to complete the event, so it's all good. 3 minutes 4 seconds and change. Pick up, retrieve some of that racing dollars invested in this car. All right. P5, bottom of the first page. So who do we have? Riera, Huayra BC. Oh, it's a Pagani Huayra, not the Senna. My bad. And Vantage GTE, Zonda R. It was just straight up Agera that we saw, not RS version. Veneno, P1, Vulcan, CX75 R3 spec, 918 Spider Vicec package, of course, and the 935 Porsche, right, the 2019, the revamped edition, and Brabham BT62, and I guess there was a Senna. It's just at the very far bottom of this grid. Fair enough. All right, get the car in for service. Actually, it's instant service, so it doesn't, it's in and then it's out right again. All right, so 3 goals down, which takes us to the final goal up stage 1. Looking great out there, and the car looks even better. Oh yeah, this is the overtaking challenge, isn't it? And as soon as you make the overtakes, I believe the goal is over. Now they're implementing no off track, so you just have to be careful about that. But by the way, that will pose a little bit of a frustration possibly down the road for this event, as later on the goals do start getting into higher lap count, a bit longer race, especially when they're placed towards the later part of this event. You know, you might have to, as I was saying, yeah, staying on track can pose a little bit of a challenge, especially considering if you're not familiar with the braking points of this car. Think of it kind of, well, I guess if you're used to another Bugatti, let's say the likes of Chiron or Chiron Sport, then yeah, this car probably drives most comparable to those. Not quite as slippery as Veyron, so you don't have to brake super early, but still, I mean, you are carrying quite a bit of speed, and it does have the brakes on this car a bit on a softer side, I would say, even when you have slowed down a bit. I think even at a slower speed, I think it's a little bit on a softer side. I should check the spec on what the braking distance is of this guy. But we only need to make 2 more overtakes, which should be coming right up here. Romano. There we go. And just like that. That's the end of the stage 1. Under a minute for that final goal, if you just manage to stay on track, that is. Alright, so in terms of fame points and racing dollars that you earn through the event, it's not going to be much. So don't expect that you'll be, you know, leveling up multiple times or anything like that, unless you're like beginner. Then I would say, hey, if you can afford the racing dollar upgrades, definitely worth checking out the first 2 stages. All right, got some offers coming through, but we're not really all that interested in that. And yeah, look at that. That's the next special event on that's just starting now. As you noticed at the beginning of this event, this was expiring. So there you go. While you were out busy out on the track, been dealing with all of the interest we've attracted. And by the way, the stage 1, the payout for completing 5 gold. Not much, but still, you know what I say, better than none, right? So we've got to look ahead to the next event on the west coast, Laguna Seca. So that's where we're heading for the next stage. So I guess we can pick up on the next video for the stage 2. So head on over to stage 2. So stay tuned.